plastic really hot. This is almost 400. Starting with some eyes, Dead Meat Customs. I'm going to try a couple of things here. Got 2 sets of eyes. Let's go here. Let's go. So plastic nice and hot, making sure the air works its way out a little bit. These aren't going to be a complex pour. I'm just going to do something kind of basic for these. But this is how I pour the eyes. Bait Plastics 262. And we are going to set some eyes on this bait here. So I'm going to pour a little bit into the 7.8 inch Epic Boss. Get the eye. Drop that in. Kind of wait for that to cool a bit. Leave that since it's flat. 3 more to do. We'll let that cool and we will adjust it. I'm just starting with a little bit of plastic, not much. I'm trying to align the eyes as best I can. Let's move that one. That little booger over there, so I get a clean pair of 4. This one I'm going to tweak a little bit, didn't go where I wanted it. Luckily, I can pull it out of there, pull the plastic off, and reset. Much better. So now, I'm making my next color here. These are going to be, I don't know, kind of a herring-ish. I'm not really going off of a picture. I'm kind of just eyeballing it. We're going to do like a lighter silver kind of belly and then a darker blue silver kind of top. 2 color, nothing fancy for a pour. We'll see how it goes. So I took the same clear I started with and I've added a little bit of just, this is like some Let's Resin silver mica. And I want to get this a little blue also. Get some alpha pigments over here. This might do it with a pinch of black too. Just a little bit. A little goes a long way with this stuff. Let's see what that does. Just kind of getting the mica wet here so it doesn't all stick to the butter knife. It'll kind of do that. You stir it and then you lose a bit of your desired effect. Sorry, we're pouring outside, so sometimes we get cars and noise. So, all right, let's add just a little bit more blue, a little bit more black. So we're going to put in Lureworks Ultramarine Blue. Just a drop. And one drop of black. See where that takes us. Some kind of a silvery blue. Color it back this. I think we're looking pretty good. Getting a little cold, but let's see where we end up with that. I'm actually going to throw these on the hot plate a bit just to start getting them warm. although it's a nice day here in Rhode Island, almost 65 degrees, molds are still a little cold. Last night it was pretty chilly out. So I want to take a little bit of the chill out of it before I pour this top color around the head, the eyes. And that's kind of the color we're going with there. I have these on the hot plate just warming up a little bit, take the chill out of them. Plastic tends to flow better and you get less cold cracks when things are warm. I am going to pour these on the hot plate, but the plastic that the eyes are set into has cooled. So I want to get a nice bond between them, so I want to warm them up a bit. So this is an Epic Bait Molds color test mold, and it lets you pour a little bit of plastic in it. And it gives you this little bit of plastic, thin at the end, thicker at one end, and it kind of gives you an idea of what that color will look like that you're building. So you'll know if in about that thickness, that's how it looks, and you can also hold it to the light and get an idea of how transparent your color might be. I'm pretty happy with this. I kind of want just a drop of a little purple. So I'm going to add a drop of Lureworks Black Grape. This has been, I think we did 1 drop of blue, 1 drop of black, and 1 drop of black grape. Not much to build this color. Maybe 1 more. Only working with half a cup here. Get that well mixed. There, we can check it again. Molds are getting warm. This is going to be our belly color. Get to that in a minute. Get this a little hotter. Check it. Oh, well, you can see that in the light there. A little bit darker than the other one. It's kind of more what I'm going for. Get out of here. And you can remelt that and use it. We have our top color hot here. What we're going to do is check these molds before we grab them because they are hot and I need a glove for this. Make sure this is well mixed. So we're going to pour and set these eyes a bit. If that makes sense. So I'm going to just pour around the head. Just like that. And I need to let that set a bit. We're going to try and do that right here. Good. I can kind of handle these molds, not for long. With the glove I'm fine, but without, a little bit hot. I'm just kind of pouring this to the gill plate. And I want that to sit on there and cool for a bit before I can place it. That's all right. That should be fine. 2 more to do. It's a nice day. We get the door open. Cars driving by. Might be a little noisy, but we're making baits. That's the important thing here. So that one's just about set up. These will slide on the counter if I leave them. That's why I got the rack. Now we're going to mix up our belly color. This is 350-ish. Really get this mixed up a little better and up to pouring temperature. So for the belly, I think we're gonna do a pinch of silver. Try this stuff from Bay Plastics. This is Super Silver Sparkle and a little bit of, I want some blue in here. So some blue highlight powder and some silver sparkle in the belly, and then this will be the top color. There you go, 360. That's good. Small amounts, you can always add more, can't take it away. I mean, there's just a pinch in here, not much at all. So I'm going to wet it a bit so it doesn't all stick to my knife. Let's see what we get. It might be a little clearer than I want. Let's do another pinch of of blue highlight. And then just a touch of white pearl powder. I mean, we're talking little tiny amounts here. So that's kind of getting there. Let's give it a shot in this test mold and see what we got. Sure it's nice and warm. 20 seconds, that's all it needs. Now I'm going to put these molds together and get them assembled on hot plate so we can pour these. So put these together. Drop the hooks. This is a pretty cool hook slot. It sits between these studs and there's a notch in the plate here. So it allows the mold to be the same height as the other open pour molds. Even though it's such a big bait. Here's the smallest open pour. This is the nugget. It's the same height because of that trick hook slot. It works out pretty well when you're pouring multiple baits at once. And I put a little Sharpie mark on here so I would know. Really doesn't matter which half goes to which bait unless you put two different color eyes in ahead of time. There we go. There's one. I was trying to keep my color a little bit warm on here. That one's clean. This one's clean. Let's pop in our hook slot. I don't like wearing gloves usually because I lose all dexterity, but these molds are hot. It's helpful. And to help keep the heat in, I've been using the couple of other molds, the 5.6 inch prey bait mold as a spacer almost. And to help add mass to this whole thing, which will help the heat stay more stable. So on cold nights when I pour, it's still February here. I think it's February everywhere, but in February when it gets down to the teens and 20s, these molds will cool pretty quick, and I don't want that to happen all the time. So adding some extra aluminum will help retain heat in here and allow it to cool slowly rather than rapidly. Rapid cooling can cause denting and a few other undesirable things with soft plastic baits. So I'm gonna make sure we get our belly color good. I'm gonna bump this up. I'm just doing two colors. This is on like 325 right now. These molds are still warm, but they're not at temperature yet. Check our belly color. Pull this out of here. That's what we're looking at. Kind of sparkly. So This is a handy little mold to have. It's always around. I even use it as a, sometimes if I want to pour the head first or the tail first, I'll pop it under here and wedge these up. This is a great little thing to have, and it's like 20 bucks. Definitely add it to one of your orders. These are going to be the two colors we're using. Let's clean up some powders, let these molds get a little bit warmer, and we'll pour. All right, so we'll pour our first color here. Just kind of want it up to the hook slot. And I'm running it back down the anal fin back there. All right, that's our first color. So these are set up a little bit. Sometimes you just kind of want to blow across the top of the mold, see if it moves a little bit. You can kind of tell when your plastic's setting and is ready to support the next color. Just pour, we're adding a little bit of something to it. And it's a little soft still, should be all right. Just a little bit of purple something in here. This is an Alpha Raven. Just want to get a little bit of something to make sure it's in there good. Pour it a little cold. Just give it a. Don't be afraid to move your molds either. Be careful, but you can tip stuff forward to pour the tail. You can tip stuff back and pour the head, or vice versa. You can get a little bit different kind of effect doing things that way. So we got our top color out of the microwave here. It's pretty hot. Check and make sure these are, yep, should be good. Ready to support another color. Start with the tail on here this time. It's a big mold, takes a lot of plastic. There we go. Let's pour this second one and hope we have enough plastic. I think we'll be good. So, ran out of plastic. Wasn't paying attention to how much was in my cup. So I'm gonna add this to it. It's a little bit darker, but I think this will be good. And I'm gonna top this one off because it's still hot. And I wanna get it nice and full. All right, now we can top this one off here. Yeah, and it's still a little soft. It's softer than I typically would pour. But I don't mind a bit of blending with these two colors because I had to make this up on the fly in order to be able to fill this mold completely. But this is more to show the technique with the eyes than it is a bait pouring video necessarily. But that's it. So we'll let these cool. Probably take a good 45 minutes to cool down, an hour, and then we can open them a little bit later tonight. All right, so molds have been cooling off for a while. We're gonna open them up and see how we did. I have not seen these yet, so I'm gonna open them for the first time. Sorry, my clamp was a little stuck there. All right, let's see. If you don't know, 7.8 inch Epic Boss. Epic Bait Molds, Marlin Baits collaboration. I'm just trying to see which side it's stuck to. this out of here. Sorry for the background noise, but here we go. So those are a purple line, a blood line in there. You can see that, but it's like a purple, I think it's Raven color shift blood line. But that's 7.8 inch Epic Boss. You can see the eye there. That's an eye poured inside the bait. They don't come off the inside. Pretty cool. Let's take a look at the other one. Gotta make sure open the mold the right way because the hook slot on this is a little bit different design. Typically the hook slot just fits in an opening, but this has two studs that hold it. So if I don't, it will always stick to the side with the studs. If you don't, you'll tear it. So you gotta kind of pay attention when you do it. Pop this out. That's a pair of 7.8 inch Epic Boss swim baits with Dead Meat Customs eyes poured inside the bait. Hopefully this is a technique that I can continue to refine and get better with, but I think it gives it a pretty cool look, and the eyes are sealed in there, so they're not going anywhere. This was just a couple of quick pours from earlier to try and demonstrate what we did. Here's a pair of fancier bluegill 7.8 inch Epic Bosses that we did last night, and they came out pretty good. These took quite a while. There's a lot of colors in here. You've got orange and pearl in the belly, different color on the fins, green in the body. There's some color shift in here, another darker green with some green pumpkin in on top, some coastal color shift around the head, color shift tail, a lot of stuff in here. And the clear, like ghost lines, came out pretty cool. Thank you for watching. I'm going to try and do more of this technique and try to refine it a bit and just get better and better with it. But I think pouring the eyes into the bait gives them a pretty cool look. And now you don't have to worry about eyes falling off or clear dipping them. The downside I find to clear dipping is you lose a lot of detail that's put into these molds intentionally. If you take a look here and around the head, there's quite a bit of gill plate, scale detail, and all that. As soon as you clear dip it, it smooths all that over and you lose that. It is a good way to seal the eyes in, but then, like I said, you lose a lot of detail. Gluing them on works well, but this is another way of doing it. So hopefully you can find this useful and give it a try yourself. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.